Hello! So, I know I'm making a lot of videos right now, as well, as you could tell, because I'm still in the same room and it's all been like right in a row, but it's mostly because I haven't made a video in a while, so yeah, I just kind of feel like I owe YouTube more videos. I owe them! Sorry, I got a bit intense there. And also my computer is being extremely slow. Well, not my computer, my internet is being extremely slow. So, yeah. So I'm just kind of trying to pass the time while I'm waiting for my computer to delagify. This is totally a word. Delagify is totally. And yeah, so that. I was intending to make this video about depression, but I feel like I've already shot that horse right in the face because I started out in such a kind of I've already made it kind of silly, and I don't really want that when I do my video regarding depression because, well, I guess, whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not like depressed people can't ever be happy. And, a lot of it is, even if you are in a good mood, even if you're in a bad mood, really, a lot of the time, I'll just kind of put a good happy face on, or at least a not as sad face on. And a lot of people, my friends mostly know about my depression, but my family does not. Actually, there's two people in my family that know about my depression. Maybe two. Anyway, one of my cousins knows, because, I don't know, I think he faced depression before as well, and so we talked about it. And I was never even that close with this cousin, and just we were talking online, and we talked about it to him. And then also my nephew, yes, my 6-year-old nephew knows about my depression. Not my sister, his mom, not my brothers, not my parents, my nephew. But then again, he kind of knows everything. He knows everything. I told him before my mom and dad, I told him about my gender. I've told him about that I'm pansexual. I told him pretty much all things. And depression, and yeah, I don't know what it is about his 6-year-old little squishiness that makes me, spew out all my secrets, but yeah, so there's that. I kind of went off topic for a little bit there. But yeah, I've been facing depression since about the 7th grade, so how many years is that? Oh my god. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 8 years? Yeah. That has not been pleasant. And I'm still, I haven't been so bad lately, which has been so nice. And yeah, so when it first started, I guess it was kind of like a trigger for it. It's not the cause. I think it was just a trigger. What kind of started me on this? I guess anything could have started me, but that's what did it. That's what was the spark. In the 6th grade, one of my friends died. His mom drove him and his sister off a wharf, and they all drowned. And she did this on purpose, just to specify. So that happened. He was a friend of mine. I guess you can't really call him you can't really call anyone a boyfriend. It's in the 6th grade, but he was my ex-boyfriend. I still liked him that way. I don't. It was, pretty devastating for me. That's probably my worst patch, was back then. Because there'd be times, I never resorted to cutting, but there'd be times where I would, whenever no one was home, I'd get a knife and I would aim it at my heart and just kind of stand there and consider whether I would do it, whether I would just kill myself. And it was definitely not a good time for me. It was not good. It was definitely not good. And I guess, for, quite a while, it continued that way. And after a couple years, I was still under the impression that it was the reason I was so sad is because of that. But I came to realize, actually, oddly, sometime maybe 12th grade, a bit after that, university probably. I came to realize that it wasn't really about that anymore for me, and it was after that long time, it was not about that anymore. It was depression. And I've not been diagnosed, but I think at some point you don't really need to be diagnosed if you've felt this way for so long. Just sad constantly. It's not that I never am happy, but most of the time it's just sadness or not much of anything. Part of the reason I'm pretty really into anime and manga, and part of the reason for that is a lot of the way that I could channel my feelings was through watching and reading that. Is because when I read and when I watch stuff, I can cry over something else. And I can laugh and I can, feel other things. I can do when it comes to other stuff, but this way I can get my feelings out on a regular basis and not just every once in a while. And that really helped. Since my parents don't know about my depression, they never really understood, and they never really got why I was on the computer so much. And it really helped me. The period of time where I was considering killing myself was not as long as it could have been, which is good. And yeah, no, I felt that way for. Well, it didn't. That was probably one of the worst patches for me. And after a while, it wasn't that bad, but I still. The amount of tears that I cried was so many. It was just lots of crying. Lots and lots of crying. I mean, not really in front of people, because I really don't like doing that. Despite my last video. I think it was my last video. No, it wasn't. It was the video before that. Yeah, I just... until I think most of my friends wouldn't have considered it, because most of the time my personality is pretty, I don't know, loud and laugh a lot, and I mean, when I'm around people, it's not so bad. I mean, I can feel happy in those moments, and then when I'm around people. But the minute not the minute you get me alone, but after being alone for a while, or just being at home, when I'm not around my family, and it's not that I get sad immediately, it's just not great. It's not great at all. It's hard to explain. But yeah, it's not fun. Not fun at all. So, one thing that has had me worried lately is that, part of the reason why I dropped out of university, it was mostly financial reasons, but it was also because I was getting inordinately stressed out. Like, I called my mom, crying one night, and I couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't. School has always been really stressful for me. Maybe it's because I'm a perfectionist. Maybe it's because I do procrastinate a lot, and maybe that's because I'm a perfectionist. Because I guess I'm afraid of failing, and so I just don't do anything. And yeah, I guess my parents did have. I love my parents, but they have had pretty big expectations on my shoulders, because all three of my older siblings were pretty damn good at school. I mean, my mom was she wasn't the valedictorian when she graduated high school, but she tutored the valedictorian. She was second in her graduating class, and yeah, definitely an intelligent family, and so lots of expectations, and I guess school just got really stressful for me, because a C was not an acceptable, it's just not, to me, a C is not an acceptable grade. A C is bad. A B is decent, and an A is good, and an A plus is really good. So, I mean, it's not that I didn't meet their expectations, but I mean, even with all the procrastinating and even with not doing some of the work, I still met the expectations, even not trying that hard. But it's still, I don't know, hard to explain how stressed and how stressful school makes me. Yeah. I mean, if I do go back to university, I'll probably be a part-time student, because it was so difficult for me.
Here.
Oh, okay. I'll be back. So, I don't want to restart my video, so I'm just going to keep on going. Unfortunately, I don't have a cutting thing, so this video is probably going to be too long. But whatever. So, depression for me is kind of hard to explain. Basically, I never have the motivation to do anything. Sometimes I can't even motivate myself to take a shower. Sometimes for a week, I will not be able to. Like, I get pretty disgusting sometimes because of it. And to do anything, sometimes I've at this one point where, even though I love sushi, and my sister came down and asked me if I wanted to get sushi with her, and she'd pay for it, which means, I didn't have to lose any money over it. I still had to force myself to go. And I'm like, I kind of like partially didn't want to go. I just didn't want to get up. I didn't want to do anything. And part of the shitty bit about it is that even the things I like to do, I just can't motivate myself to do them. Like, I haven't been able to do any drawing or writing, and it's pretty shitty. It's not great. And it's been, honestly, like, lately it's been better, but when I first got here, when I first came to stay over and look for work, and actually until maybe it's only been like getting better like for the past like week or two, around there. But before that, it is definitely worse. Like, first time in my life, I've been tempted to cut and to harm myself, and I have harmed myself. I haven't made myself bleed, but I have had an elastic and snapping it against my wrist. But I realized that was still self-harm, and that it's just kind of like a slippery slope. So I decided to try exercising instead, but then it worked, but the difficulty is that I have difficulty motivating myself to do that, and I haven't really been able to. I haven't done it other than like once or twice, and it, unfortunately, especially hard to do that recently because it's so hot out. But yeah, it's not been a great ride, because, well, I mean, when is depression a great ride? Never, ever, ever. I mean, I would like to someday maybe go to a psychologist or whatever, but that costs money. So yeah. Eventually, though, maybe, hopefully. I mean, I guess I just kind of want to see what someone else would say about it. I mean, I actually think I have a lot of difficulty talking to someone else directly about it, because, I mean, it's one thing if it's a video camera. I mean, really, it's just my laptop camera, but whatever. It's one thing if it's that, but another person, is a lot more difficult to talk to. I feel like I would just feel so awkward, especially if it's a stranger. I just like, I've only been able to talk to a few people about it, and most of the time it's when they have experienced similar feelings. Other than my nephew. My nephew has. But, I mean, I don't know why. But, yeah, so most other people have been people I felt could understand what I am going through and what I have gone through. And, yeah. Depression sucks. Anyway. Bye.